Andrew, do you believe that government should be involved in every area of your life?
Absolutely not.
Do you like it when government slows you down and gets in your way?
I do not like that.
Do you like it when there's so many rules created by government that you can't possibly follow them all?
Kind of hate it.
Andrew, do you like gladiators?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. That's weird. Anyway, I think today's guest disagrees with you on that point, but he agrees with you on all the other points. Well, today's guest, Mayor Craig Thurmond, Broken Arrow's Mayor Craig Thurmond, believes like you. He believes that government should serve the people and then get out of your way.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
Now, 3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, it's a very special occasion because it is always profound when we are above the ground. Mayor Craig, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Welcome, Clay. Good to be here.
Hey, you are you still the mayor of Broken Arrow?
I still am.
Now, I think what Broken Arrow needs to hear, what we want to hear. I live in Broken Arrow, so what I want to hear is I want to hear some positive stuff. I want to hear some positive stuff. You turn on CNN, you turn on Fox. It's just a lot of negativeness, a lot of divisiveness. Today's show is gonna be positive, not detached from reality, but positive.
That's
and
right.
I think there are great things going on in Broken Arrow right now. I went out to Andolini's the other night for dinner. It was packed.
Right.
I went to the ice cream place where they make that homemade gelato stuff across the street.
STG?
I
Yes.
went there. Great. It was packed. I took my kids out for breakfast a couple weeks. Packed. The Hub Gym is open. Packed.
Right.
I went to what is it? The Bass Pro Shop. Went to the Bass Pro Shop. Packed.
Right.
Great things are going on in BA. I want to ask you, you as a mayor are, in my opinion, doing a good job. And I'm just an entrepreneur guy. I'm a business guy. But there's a lot of, I know people all around the country that can't even be open right now. So let's talk about this. What authority do you have or not have to make it hard or easy for business owners to operate in Broken Arrow? I mean, how could you as a mayor make it really difficult to do business? And how could you make it easy to do business?
Well, I think the big thing is not being business friendly, and that's one thing that we're doing in Broken Arrow is we're very business friendly. We know the importance of businesses. We want to be their partner. It's not you versus them. Where a lot of cities you go to, it's you versus them, and that's something that we don't do here. Is we want to team up with businesses and try to get them to grow.
I am not going to mention other mayors by name. However, I'm going to throw out some ideas. Some big ideas I've been thinking about. I was talking to an individual today who works in the city government about organizing maybe a block party on the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the craziest thing ever. He was nice to me. He called me back. And he seemed like he was in favor of shooting off some fireworks for the 4th of July, wanted to do it safely, etc. I have called other cities, though, where they're very difficult to work with. Do you think it's normal for cities to treat their citizens well when it comes to customer service, or is this something you've had to work hard to create in Broken Arrow?
I don't think it's normal because the business I work in, it's a volunteer job, so a full-time business. I work in a lot of communities around here, and they're not exactly the same. I mean, we really have stepped up where we want people to be very helpful, and they've been told many times that their job is to get to yes, not just tell people no. And some communities that we know of around here, the first thing you get from them is no. And that's not what we want to be. We want to work with communities and work with citizens in our community to be able to do things that they want to do.
So we have on the show today a guy who's kind of mythological in my mind. He's a very successful entrepreneur with all sorts of Tulsa connections. Mm-hmm. I've seen old school footage of this man with Oral Roberts himself. Mm-hmm. I affectionately call him the Chuck Wagon, because his first name's Chuck, and I want to hitch myself to the wagon. This guy's always doing something. Great energy. Chuck Ramsay, welcome on to the Thrive Time Show.
Well,
How are you,
good
sir?
to be here.
Now,
Good to
hey,
be here.
you spell your name the right way.
With an AY.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people, a lot of
Well, they're not
Ramsays out
that
there
smart.
spelling their
They
name.
don't- Yeah, they use an EY.
Okay, so but you're AY.
AY.
So how long have you known Mayor Craig? I mean, when did you make that poor life decision to meet Mayor Craig?
You know, I've lost track, but over 12 years
Yeah.
probably.
Over 12 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
And
a long time.
You're an investor owner in Shaw Homes. You're an investor owner in Meadowbrook and other things. And I don't know what your take is on this, but you have businesses that are in, or things you're involved in that are in Tulsa, some things that are in Broken Arrow, some things that are in different cities. How would you explain how easy it is to do business in Broken Arrow, or how difficult it is as it relates to other cities? I mean, is it easier to do business in BA? Is it tougher?
Oh, much easier. The red tape as far as the city. You know, what I admire about Mayor Craig is he loves the city. I mean, he's been working his tail off for a number of years to make it a better city. And when I first met him, I started talking with him. He got me connected with the right people. I'll tell you, when he hired this city manager for Broken Arrow, he's
Yeah.
an amazing guy. He was the guy that put it together to get him here.
Really? Now, who is the city manager? Educate our listeners out there. Mayor
Michael
Craig.
Spurgeon is a city manager. He was we got him from St. Charles, Missouri. We flew up there and talked to him whenever it was whenever he was looking. We were looking to get a new city manager, and he's been here about 5 years. Really a go-getter, and does very much supports the citizens and the community, and he really is a good guy.
Why do you like Broken Arrow? Like, why? Because this is my understanding. And again, if I'm lying, if I'm making it up, if it's hyperbole, I mean, you're my accountability partner here. You don't get paid, I think. Is that correct?
No, we don't get paid.
So I mean, it's just us and about 500,000 listeners. So I mean, just kind of, spill the beans. Why do you actually do this? I mean, what's your real motive? What's in it for you? I mean, what's in it for you? It sneaks and the other people. I mean, what's the real reason that you want to be what's in it for you? What kind of kickbacks do you get? What's in it for you?
Well, the fact that you can make a difference in the community, and there's not many people that get that opportunity. And ever since I've been on the city council, I've had the opportunity to make a difference, and we make a difference in people's lives every day. So it's and they say those that are closest to the people, or those that govern the closest are the closest to the people, and we are. And so we're able to actually make a difference in everyone's life, from whether it's public safety or whether it's just getting water, a toilet that'll flush every day. The things that we do every day that make a difference in people's lives, and I have that opportunity, and there's only a few people that get that chance. And since I've had that chance, it's we've been able to really change how Broken Arrow does business and the things that we do, and created a safe community. We've done a lot of good things.
Now, I have told you, and I'm not. This is not passive aggressive. I've told you we're not going to be talking about COVID. We're not talking about the CNN Fox stuff tonight. We're going to keep positive. However, I want to talk about risk for a second. If Chuck decides to build a neighborhood in Broken Arrow, and it's the most ridiculous houses ever, say it's up to code. The houses are up to code, but the houses are dumb. He could, in theory, at Shaw Homes. I mean, you and Mr. Shaw, you and Glenn could sit down and design some really stupid houses, and as long as it's up to code, you could give them permission to do so. The city could let you build these houses, and you might not sell them, but are you in agreement that he could have the right to build these houses, even if they're god awful, they're nasty? The man upstairs is booing how bad they are. But I mean, shouldn't in your mind, should he have the ability to have a stupid business plan or a stupid series of homes if he wanted to?
Well, I think all businesses have the right to be able to do that. They have the right to try something and fail if they want to, if that's what they think.
You're a
is good for
pro-freedom
them.
guy?
Yes, I think it's really important that you're able to do things that you want to do, whether they're wise or not. That's one thing that we really want. I mean, we do want quality housing, and we want quality things in our community, but you have the right. We can't tell business what to do. If you want to make a bad business investment, that's up to you.
You just said something that I don't think a lot of mayors agree with. So back to you, Chuck. You've seen mayors all across the country that are saying, you can't do this. You can't do that. They can make it difficult to do business. I mean, Chuck, have you ever dealt with a city that made it difficult to do business?
Yes, and take a long time too. So much red tape.
How long?
Months, up to a year.
What's the longest you've ever had to wait to get approval to build a neighborhood in a city? What's the longest ever, Chuck?
Well, fortunately, we do a lot of our building in Broken Arrow.
Oh, that's a mega point right there.
That's right.
But there are some other cities around here that I'm sure you've tried to, get a permit. And I mean, what's the longest that you've seen? I mean, for somebody to give you approval in other cities.
He's putting me on the spot.
I'm not asking
here.
for a specific city. I'm just saying, people, because listeners need to know
Well,
this.
let me just say, I wish Meadowbrook had been in Broken Arrow. We'd been playing golf for a long
and
time.
Meadowbrook's in Tulsa,
Yeah,
and you bought that how many years ago?
2.5 years.
You bought Meadowbrook Country Club 2.5 years ago,
Yeah.
and you wanted to turn it into a neighborhood. Is this correct?
Well, eventually, we're trying to make Meadowbrook a viable golf course.
Now, what was the initial vision when you decided to buy Meadowbrook? What was the initial vision?
Well, the initial vision was it was in the city, 160 acres, a nice place to create a nice living area for a number of people.
Did you want to? Was your vision to turn it into like an Al Qaeda training facility where they have the monkey bars and all the tires and you
No,
wanted
I
to turn a
talked to-
slumlord kind of a situation?
I talked to Craig, and he advised me not to do that.
I mean, what do you picture many houses there? One house? Is it your house? Is it
Well,
going to
it'd
be just your home?
It would be a number of homes.
A number of homes.
Over 400.
Over 400
But right
homes.
now, we're trying to retain it as a golf course.
But has it taken 2.5 years for the city of Tulsa to tell you yes or no?
no,
No.
it isn't.
Okay. So is it? Would you say that Broken Arrow is one of the easiest cities that you've ever built in to work with?
Yeah, that's the reason we go to Broken Arrow and talk to the
Let's
mayor.
talk about the dirt on Mayor Craig. Let's talk about the dirt for a second. This is what I know. I know that he's kind, but maybe too kind. You know what I mean? If you worry about the people that are too kind, you go maybe. I mean, do you know people that know this? Did you know people that know this guy?
He's a nice guy.
I-
Honest. He loves the city. He's easy to work with.
What's an example of Mayor Craig, his interaction with either you, someone in the city, a project maybe he's brought to Broken Arrow? What's an example of Mayor Craig's leadership that you could share on the show?
Well, first of all, he's always available. He answers his phone.
Get out of here.
That's right.
Mayor Craig, don't you realize that you are in fact a mayor?
I do.
You're not supposed to answer your phone. I mean, that's a sign of compassion.
Well, if someone has a question or has some reason they want to talk to you, you got to be there to talk to them.
Okay.
And a lot of times, just that communication is the difference between solving someone's problem and not solving it.
I'm going to get you a book I'm working on called The Keys to Destroying a City by Mayor Lightfoot. It's a Chicago edition. It's a beautiful book. And I'm going to give that to you because rule number 1 to destroy a city is do not be responsive to your people. If you want to take it down to the bottom, just pro tip. So, Chuck, what else is this guy? Why do you like this guy? What's the deal with Mayor Craig? He's a good guy.
Well, he's a good guy. He has a lot of experience. He grew up there in California and did land developing there and eventually moved to Tulsa here. I like his experience and how he bounces ideas over with other people. He's in contact with mayors all over the country. Goes to Washington, D.C.
Should I vote for him? Should I vote for this
You
guy?
should.
I should.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of. When's the election there, Mayor Craig?
It's April 6th next year.
I've got a lot of things on my calendar for April 6th. I mean, I might be going to Annalini's.
Yeah.
I might be going to. There might be a regrettable TV show to watch. There's so many things I could be doing. Let's talk about apathy. What happens if the wrong guy gets in charge of Broken Arrow there, Chuck, or the wrong woman, the wrong man? What happens?
No movement. No creativity. Look at downtown Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
What they've done the last 10 years.
It's incredible.
It's unbelievable. You drive down the street. This Christmas I was there, and you can hear the Christmas music playing as you walk down.
You got for the folks out there that don't know the area, you've got In the Raw, the restaurant there. You got the rooftop. You got Andolini's. You got the tavern. You got the breakfast place. You got what is it, Mambo's? Is it called?
Yes, Fiesta Mambo's.
Fiesta
Mexican
Mambo's.
restaurant.
There's so many great things to see and do.
Got a chop house getting ready to open up there called Rustic Chop House.
What is a chop house?
A steakhouse.
Oh yes. Did you know the owners of this? Have you spent time with them?
I have not spent time with them. I just know that they found an empty space there, and they're going to open up where American Hatfield used to be.
When are you going to get? Because it's all your fault or all your credit. You know how it is. If something doesn't happen, it's got to be the mayor's fault. Mayor Craig, when are you going to get the Warren Theater open? When are you doing that for me?
I heard they're going to open in July.
In
That's what I
July?
heard. Yeah, that's what I heard. Was they're planning on opening in July.
What is something that you brought to Broken Arrow that you actually were involved in bringing to Broken Arrow that you could, in fact, take credit for? I know you're a humble guy. I'm just asking. What's one thing? If I'm listening right now, I could say, what is one thing this guy's actually done? What's one thing?
I think the first thing that I was involved in was Bass Pro.
You helped bring the Bass
Yes,
Pro
yeah,
to
I was
Broken
very
Arrow?
active in Bass Pro, and they really didn't want to be here. Originally, they were looking in Tulsa, and we kind of convinced them to be here, and so it's really good. And even at the last minute, the loan wasn't going to work out, and so we had people at the city saying, "There's no way we can afford to do this." And my statement was, there was no way we could afford not to do this. So in 2005, we brought Bass Pro here, and then also the Warren Theater. I was very active with Bill Warren trying to get the Warren Theater here. So there's been a couple big things.
What is your role on limited government? What's your view on limited government? I mean, do you see yourself as sort of a dictator, Mayor Craig, that runs around and makes rules about everything? Do you believe that you should be running around telling us what kind of tennis balls we can use, where we can do this, where we can do that, where we can? I mean, do you believe in that or not? What is your view on limited government?
People need to have freedom to do what they want to do. I mean, that's one thing that we need to allow is we need to allow people to do what they want to do, and so the concept of limited government, I mean, I think that's in freedom. I mean, a lot of people fought and died for freedom. And we have that freedom to be able to have that freedom of choice, and we should be able to do that.
Did you serve in the military in any way, shape, or
I
form?
served in the Marine Corps, yes.
You were in the Marine Corps?
Yes.
Was the training easy? I heard there was 1 year there where they made it easy. Were you that year?
No, I wasn't in that year. No.
Walk us through that training that to be a Marine. I mean, what kind of training do you have to go through?
Well, it was pretty tough at the time. We were in a war in Vietnam, and a lot of people, all of our drill instructors were Vietnam veterans, and they had a lot to say. But it was pretty intense. Went to Paris Island and spent 16 weeks there, and that was pretty intense training.
Do you look back fondly on your time serving our country?
I do. I don't look fondly on boot camp. That was really hard, but I do look fondly on the opportunity to serve a country. My father was in the Navy and was at D-Day, was at Normandy on D-Day, and my son was served in Afghanistan as a medic. I think it's important that we serve, that we give back to the country that's given us so much.
Do you have any fond memories of boot camp? Is there one? I mean, I've never been to boot camp before. I mean, I've gone to a Shaw Holmes meeting with Chuck here, and it's kind of like a boot camp. I mean, he'll crack the whip, and Chuck has that motivational phrase that says, "Where there's a whip, there's a way." And I'm like, Chuck, why are you showing me this sign? No, I'm just kidding. Chuck's not like that. But what's it like going to boot camp?
It's just intense. I mean, you learn a lot of discipline. You learn respect. You learn respect for our country and respect for the people that are teaching you. And it's just there's a lot of pain, physical pain, I think, when you're there. But it's really it does teach you a lot. And I think I learned a lot being there and learned discipline and respect.
Was your drill sergeant? Did he sound a lot like Joel Osteen? I mean, did he say, "Hey guys, you want to just come on out here and we're gonna go out there and try to conquer this hill and run on this beach until we're at a moderate pace"? I mean, all right, everybody. I mean, was he like that?
No, I don't. He wasn't like that at all. No.
What was he like? Describe. Take us to boot camp.
Well, we had 4 drill instructors, and they were all pretty intense. And when I got out of boot camp, I kind of thought I'd never do anything fast again, because all you hear is faster, 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 go faster. They wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and you start your day, and there's a lot of different activities that you have to do, but they keep you going. It's pretty intense.
Now we have time for 2 more questions here. Chuck's going to ask you a real tough question. Chuck, you've known Chuck now for a while, and what Chuck does is he likes to get mayors, particularly on the show, and he likes to paint them into a corner. So that way, it's a gotcha question. It's basically like we're watching a CNN debate or a Fox debate. It's like where there's just nothing but zingers. So get ready. And Charles here. Charles, you moved here from 5 hours away.
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the town?
Atchison, Kansas.
Atchison, Kansas. You have the mic first, though. You can ask the mayor any question you want.
Okay.
At all, but I want to just tee it up by prefacing this. Where you're from, were you familiar with your mayor? Did you interact with your mayor? Did you?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay. And so this is a cool opportunity for you to ask the mayor of this city any question you want there. And you have the floor, my friend. What questions would you have for the good Mayor Craig?
Mr. Mayor Craig, my question would be, what qualities should each and every mayor have before trying to run for the office or trying to lead a town or a city? What qualities should they have?
Well, I think the very first quality you have to have, that you should have honesty and integrity, and you should do what you say you're going to do. So I think that's the very first quality. And
That's not in Mayor Lightfoot's handbook.
yeah, no, it's not. I've actually met Mayor Lightfoot.
You
and,
have?
I don't think that's in her handbook. No.
You've met her?
Yes.
What were you doing? Were you at a Cubs game?
No, I was in D.C. at the Conference of Mayors, and she was a speaker there.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off the rabbit trail. I just wanted to ask you because I am a huge supporter of quarantining in Chicago this time of year. It's just great staying in your house. Okay, so back to you. So you're talking about qualities.
Stay in your house in Chicago, you probably won't get shot, so that's good. I think that another thing is leadership is very important. You've got to have some experience, and you've got to be a leader. You've got to be able to take charge and be able to to tell people what to do. I think you also have to have some business experience. I think that's really important to be able to understand how business works, and that's very important also.
Okay, Charles, you have earned the opportunity to go on to the mega round, the lightning round, the thunder round, the round where you get to ask another question.
Okay.
But this one could be earth-shattering, mind-blowing. You can do whatever you want to ask, okay? I'm going to go back to Chuck, but I'm coming back to you.
Solid.
And typically this is the part of the show where it starts to feel like The View, where there's just arguments and people are yelling at each other, people cutting each other off. Okay, so we're going back to you there. And did we lose your headphones? Are you headphone free?
Yes.
Oh, he's headphone free. Okay, we're gonna do Charles. Let's share your headphones with the
I'm
good.
back.
You're
I'm
back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, that was a passive aggressive thing. It makes it
Yes,
really tough to
okay.
answer the questions when you can't hear them.
Yes.
Okay, that's what they do on The View too. They create that tension. Chuck, what question would you have for Mayor Craig that maybe you want to know the answer to, or you think the listeners might want to know the answer to?
So first, I just want to tell Mayor Craig how much I appreciate him and respect him, his openness to new ideas. He's a creative guy, and he loves the city. I've dealt with him a lot. I'm going to ask him kind of a tough question. What's the toughest thing about your job?
Well,
And,
that's
I mean, you have a lot of tough things. I've
The
seen you
pay
go
isn't
through.
tough.
Oh, the pay is down.
yeah, the pay's very tough. Well, I think it's really hard to say. I mean, it depends on the day. What's tough. This having to do an order to close the city was very tough, which we did for about a month. We closed our city down for about a month, and that was very tough to have to do that order to say people need to shelter in place.
Was that one of the toughest things you had to do?
I think that was very tough, along with, I mean, anytime you have to tell someone no, and that's always very tough. And there's times that we have to do that. As a council or as a mayor, you have to tell people no. Getting and trying to lead the community, even though we got a lot of criticism over everything we do, we get a lot of criticism, and you still have to stand up and do the right thing. And I always feel that if you do the right thing, and if you don't get reelected, why do you want to be elected?
How often do you get citizens that reach out to you that are impossibly wrong, and they want you to take action? As an example, let's just say that Chuck and I are neighbors. Okay, we're Chuck and I are neighbors, and I call the BA hotline. Boop, 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 and they say, "Thank you for calling Broken Arrow. How can I help you? City of Broken Arrow?" And I say, "Yeah, my neighbor Chuck Wagon. This guy's always making cheeseburgers, and therefore my house always smells like cheese. And I suspect he's not acknowledging our HOA laws because I've seen him bebopping around town, and I believe he's driving too fast. Now, I don't know he's driving. I mean, I've never caught him, but I have a feeling, and I'm telling you, my backyard smells like cheese. And if I wanted my backyard to smell like cheese, I would be making cheeseburgers, but I'm not. I made burgers without cheese. And he is out bebopping around town, zipping around, being crazy. I don't have proof yet, but I need to stop him. Do you ever get those kind of things where people want you as the mayor to regulate every aspect of everyone's lives? Does that happen?
We've gotten a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails and phone calls, especially over this past few months, more so than normal, I think. But I get, mainly it's emails that I get.
Emails, the full pagers?
Yeah, I get full page emails
nice.
and from a lot of different things, from defunding our police department, which I don't agree with. And
Defunding the police.
Yeah, and I've written them back almost a full page. But there's a lot of different things. You do get a lot of people that are that you get emails and you try to respond. You do respond to everybody, but sometimes you just shake your head and say, there's nothing you're going to tell them that's going to help them understand really what's going on. So
Sometimes, though, isn't it that they don't understand all the details of the situation too, right?
Well, sometimes that's it, and sometimes people just don't want to be confused by the facts, and so a lot of times they don't understand, and so that creates a lot of problem.
Fun story for the listeners out there, a little encouraging story. This is I'm so glad you're not defunding the police, but I want to tell you a story about a not so great leader who did defund his police. In 1933, Adolf Hitler, the guy who made that mustache forever bad, Adolf Hitler. If you run around with that mustache today, people don't like you. Adolf Hitler appointed Hermann Göring to become the Minister of the Interior. And his first order was to defund the police. And he replaced them with this brown shirt world police that happened in 1933. That is a move. It is a move that bad people use when you don't have any protection, any safety. I mean, Broken Arrow, thank you so much for keeping us safe. Just thank you for doing that, sir. I mean, telling you, I know people that live in cities where they're not safe, and I couldn't imagine living there, so thank you so much. I have 5 kids. Thank you for not defunding our police. I can't even believe people would ask you to do that.
Well, I've always felt that's the number one charge of government, whether it's a federal or state or local level, is public safety. That's your number one charge. That's the first thing you have to do. And the concept of not, and we have a great police force. They do a great job.
Yeah.
We do a lot of community policing and be very proactive. And, the fact that we've never had one substantiated DOJ complaint, over the whole history of the police department, says that they're doing things right.
And we got President Trump's coming here for a big rally this week.
Yes.
I mean, there's going to be already over 800,000 people en route, according to Forbes. We're talking about 1 million people being here. I love that we can do that and do it in a safe and responsible way. I love that. Charles, you have the mic. You get the opportunity to ask the final question, but just go easy on him. You know what I mean? The guy's pay is very low. His mayor broke it.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. On a personal note, what do you think makes you qualified to be the mayor of an entire city? Like, I know you explained the qualities as to be leadership, but you on a personal level, what makes you qualified to be a mayor of an entire city?
Tough questions.
That is a tough question. I think, for one, the experience, and you have to really educate yourself. I've spent the last 19 years learning all about government and going to D.C., going to different things and learning everything I can learn. So that's one thing that qualifies me probably more than a lot of people's, because I've had the experience and I understand how government works. And it cannot, when I first got on the council, I thought, well, we can do this just like a business. But unfortunately, the government is not a business, but it can be more professional and more business friendly.
There we go.
So that's one thing that we have done.
Yeah.
I think also as we talked about, the honesty and integrity is very important, and you have to being truthful is so important in today's world, and we don't have that enough. But I've learned it definitely is a lot easier to remember what you said when you're telling the truth all the time. So I think it's very important that the honesty and the integrity, but I think experience and leadership. I've led us through a lot of things that we have done and been involved in a lot of different things. So I think leadership, but the big thing is experience and really understanding how government works and having a mindset that, the businesses are really what keep our city going. And it's important that we really look at business and let business do what they need to do to keep our city going.
Mayor Craig, you are a great American. Charles, tough questions.
Yeah.
Not sure we'll have you on again. It was too tough.
Hey, Mayor, you've got my vote.
Absolutely. We are in support of you. We appreciate you taking your time out to join us, and we hope that we're providing you, the listener, with the answers to the questions that you'd want to ask. If there's any questions you'd like for us to ask the mayor, please feel free to email us at info@thrivetimeshow.com, info@thrivetimeshow.com. And without any further ado, we're going to end this show with a boom. And again, a safe and open, free boom. I appreciate you for leading the way there, sir. And we'll do it on 3. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom.
Boom.